So for the past 4 months, I've been working on my dream game, from making the character to adding some gimmicks, and even adding customization. I've been working tirelessly on this project, and I've learned a lot about game development along the way. Later in this video, I'm going to show the name of it, my plans for the future of this game, and how you can help as well. So I think it is finally time to show off what I've done, from day 1 to now. So the first thing I had to do was create a unique character for my game. I love Fall Guys, of course, so I knew whatever my character was going to be, it was not going to be human. Next, I took into consideration what I am good at and what I am not good at when making 3D models. Usually the neck, armpits, and hips are the hardest things to model for me, since those are the parts connecting the whole body together. So how was I going to do those parts? Yeah, I'm not doing that. Floating heads and arms go brrrr. And for the legs, I just decided to stick some holes in the bottom and call it a day. With the model done, I decided to make some animations I'll show programs later in the video. This is a Beaton. They are little creatures that can jump in midair and launch a player when they spin. So now it's time to code this stuff in Unity. And I had no clue what I was doing. So I decided to watch a tutorial by TVTig on making a basic controllable character. After watching that, I decided to change some code in the camera to make it orbit independently from the character, and later made it zoom in when there were objects blocking the character using raycasts. Now with some of the basics out of the way, it is time to really make some of those gimmicks I was talking about earlier. So the first gimmick is that when off ground, a Beaton can jump, and when he does, he will have a higher jump than on ground. But there's a catch. He can only jump once, so in order to get that higher air jump, he needs to be falling off something. The second and more complex gimmick is the spin attack. The idea is that when he hits you, the actual hit isn't what gives the damage. It's if you get launched into something from that attack. But there's a gimmick on top of this gimmick. If the Beaton is on land when spinning, he will launch another Beaton in an upwards manner. But when the Beaton is spinning while in air, he will launch players straight downwards, letting you spike players into a death zone or smack them to the ground. Players that are hit by the floor in this launch state will get damaged by 1 HP, but if they are hit by a wall, they will get damaged by 2 HP. The Beaton has 3 HP, so theoretically you could combo them into each other to get practically an insta-kill once the invincibility timer wears off from one attack. This gameplay loop was kind of inspired by Super Smash Bros. Anyway, let's get back to Unity and implement these features. I started off implementing the jumping since it was the easiest of the two. While I did have some C# knowledge at the time, I wasn't fully familiar with what I was doing. So say it with me now, I used vibe coding! Now before you click off the video, do note that I only really vibe coded all of my code for the first month using Copilot. After my tokens went out, I stopped really using it. I also cleaned up the code a couple of months later. Now that I convinced you all not to dislike this video, hopefully, let's get back to the topic on hand. Jumping! I put some controllable properties in the player script to be able to control stuff like terminal velocity, jump height, and some other things. Next was time for the hardest part, making the spin attack that launches players when hit. But before we do that, I decided to create an animation controller and hook the character up to it so that he wasn't just sliding. I also decided to tinker around with some graphics related to outlines and combine it with a video by, well, I'm not even going to try and butcher his name, so here it is up on screen. And a shader that will be linked down in the description. And for the player outlines, I used a technique called convex hull to get a specialized colored outline based on the player's color. Anyway, back to the spin attack, since the first thing I did was create a launch zone to test out how big attack would work. The way the launch zone works is that you give it some info like how strong, how much time, and the direction of the launch, and what it will do is send you out of the trigger zone, then give the player a second script called character launch. In this script, it will then launch the player even when they are out of the zone, simulating the desired effect I wanted. Once I set that up, I felt like it looked kind of weird, so I decided to make my player a ragdoll. This process took a while, and I don't feel like explaining it because it was a little bit complex and I also forgot a lot of it. But what I will show you are some funny pictures of me debugging it at the time. Then I attached this launch zone to the player, made it invisible, made it only affect other players, gave the attack a cooldown, and made it only activate when the player is spinning. After all this, I added some cool extras, like when holding down the attack button, you would do a fast fall. Another thing I thought would be satisfying is if there was some sort of recoil when you bounced off the wall, so I also added that. The final thing before I updated it is that when you die, nothing would really happen, so I changed that. Now if you die, the camera will stop following the player, and the player will start ragdolling directly onto the floor. After a set amount of time, the player will then respawn wherever their first spawn location was. Also, do you remember when I said a launch zone would only affect other players? Well, since I haven't implemented online play yet, and I have no friends, I decided to create one. The way the AI works, not the generative AI, is that by all means, it is just a player-controlled character, but instead of taking player inputs, it surveys its local area and decides where to move. So what is this elite ball knowledge guy's logic? Well, not a lot. Basically, all he does is check if he's off land, and if so, spams jump and tries to go back to his original spawn location. Now that the character and gimmicks are done, it is time for the final part of this devlog, customization. So the idea came also from Fall Guys, but works slightly differently. Of course, I added colors and patterns, but unlike how Fall Guys has just an upper and lower, I decided to give 3 places of customization: the shoes, the body plus hands, and the head. Now originally I was going to make all the customization flat 2D materials, but then I thought that it would look weird for stuff like hats on the head, so I made the top 3D. For the rest of the flat customization, I used normal maps to give this fake 3D depth look on an otherwise 2D PNG. I made 2 cosmetic sets for this demo, being the Summer Chill set and the Burn Code set. After I made all the art, I made some scripts to be able to apply the art to the characters, and even made it so you can have different clothing sets on different parts of the body. Okay, so that is basically what I want to show for this video, but before you click off now, it is time to show the name of the game. And wait, what's happening? Oh, well I guess that's one way of showing the game's name off. Now it's time to show my future plans for the game. So my idea for the game is similar to a hero shooter, except without the heroes or the shooting. Instead, you and 3 other players will be going up against another 4 players to capture an area on the map. The way you would attack and capture these areas would be by using the moveset I discussed in this video. For the next video, I'm going to be working on the actual levels to show this gameplay off. I know that sounds like a lot for a single dev, so that is why I ask you, the viewer, to join my Discord server, since I am looking for people to recruit onto a team for Factiontory, and you could be one of them. Anyway, subscribe if you want to see more Factiontory content, and see ya!